We're all about vacuum and pump. That's how the body works. With the amount of fluid we have, we better have good pumps, otherwise it stagnate and get nasty. So one of the common mistake, particularly with that step, would be to reach here and then turn, not turn, but bend the waist to kind of compress to try to push here. Notice how that would bring my shoulder, it brings it a lot forward. What I want as I reach and I need my hand to pass is I'm actually rotating around my central axis so that instead of bringing my shoulder here and having the other one disappear, I'm turning side to side so that I push out of the way. So it get a squeeze from the waist. So as I'm pushing the chi from the top part down, I'm squeezing the waist just like I would squeeze a tube of toothpaste to really push everything down and out. And so at the same time, when I finish pushing and the chi is dropped, I let it go. And then if I want to begin my inhale because I'm squeezed, I have to let everything come back. The pressure, the internal pressure of the diaphragm will help that pulling me back. So I really have just to let go and everything comes up. I don't have to come back. That's heavy and tiring. I use that elasticity and rotation and the internal pressure of the breath. There we are. Felt a lot lighter and a lot more fun to do. So you can do much more repetition. Diaphragm is very much the main engine that should be driving everything. It's our biggest muscle, size-wise. There's no other muscle that are, covering so much space. It's one that we're using constantly, and it has a huge amount of strength to be able to go down and create that pressure. So using it internally, which then gives us structure as well, because then it places the spine in the right spot. It helps to open Migmen. It places the hips, which then connect to the legs, etc. It got everything with it. So, and it's, count for more than half our lung capacity. So we need to get it to work. So we're happy with that. And the same thing here, I have that unwinding, and I'm also using the foot particularly, which has been flattened, and then the arch of the foot pulling the leg. Pressure from the diaphragm, re-equalizing here, bringing everything to the center and rising. And then as I exhale, I release, sit on my leg, get the rotation through the waist that then push towards the leg and push everything out as my foot becomes flatter and flatter. And then arch of the foot round up, starting to pull my knee, starting to pull my hip, pressure of the diaphragm bringing me forward as I release also the rotation so I can be in the center, filling everything, and then push, squeeze as I'm winding, let go, inhale. The more I let go, the more I can refill. If I don't push and let go, if I hold on to the chi because I want more, I'm not really going to have that exchange. But if I'm showing my body that I let go and that I take in, therefore there's more that will come in and fill me up, and I can just let myself run through, working on both lateral channels, connecting them shoulder well to kidney 1, the well at the bottom of the feet, etc., etc. So as I'm moving around, I want to feel not only in the front, but through the body and all the way to the back, so I can move the chi through the whole structure inside. So I'm really, as I'm pushing into the earth, letting it go up, as I'm creating this space and kind of opening from the side, I let go, and then my hand come and pull up, creating a suction. That's why. Make sure don't let your hand on the side. Really grab and pull up. Yes. Feel how this, yeah. Yes, so your hand will be, because of the legs and the way your hand is above, but you have this connection through the whole leg. So I'm not just moving the weight chi around my leg, I'm connected all the way through. And what I do basically by pulling up is the same as if I'm pushing water. I'm creating a depression behind, which then sucks in even more, which will have that pulling effect through rather than slow me trying to push something up. My idea is very much one of movement, which will then bring the chi. And by the time I reach up and I turn my palm, I kind of hold the chi in the body rather than having it shoot a little too strongly into the head. But the head will definitely open and have this woof connection up for the surplus. And then when I push, it's the same thing. I want my palm to feel that I'm pressing onto something, which will have that same depression created on top, which will then suck more of heaven falling down and going into the earth. And that's why I'm opening it so there's more and more space for heaven to go deep. And then as I let go, there's the filling up and return of it, up and down. Yeah, so the lateral channels, once I'm in the middle, I also have the central channel, which fills up. So everything, the whole torso. Once I reach around the pubic bone, once I pass from the leg, pass through the quad, and reach into the lower dantian, the whole torso fills up. And then as I press, I gently squeeze, and then with the rotation of the waist, I focus more on that other leg, down. And then as I grab again, up through the lower dantian, torso, whole body, all the way to the top of the head and above, and then pressing, rotating, and out. What I was saying is that through the main principle in Tai Chi Qigong Shibasha is always to aim towards entering tranquility and let the movement move the chi through the macrocosmic orbit so that we don't focus particularly with an intent on one particular channel or vessel. We just let the body open up naturally as we need to while we're doing it. And the more we practice, the more things starts to open up on their own when we're ready for them. So what we're doing here as we push and pull, particularly if we look at Qi under the lens of gasotransmitter, gas fluids move with the movement we create. And if we use the Bernoulli effect, which is that idea of creating a vacuum which will suck more of it, we're creating a movement that will in itself engage even more so. Do I have a small bag? Let's see if I can get one. I have this simple plastic bag, so I'm just gonna empty it. Take it up, and so if I just do a big inhale and blow in it, this is about the amount of air that I can pull in it with one breath. Now, emptying it out. If I do the same, just holding it here, that's quite a lot more air with the same breath. So the idea basically with that opening here is that while you have just a single stream going out, the movement that it creates will pull a lot more air inside. And that will bring more and more and more, which allow the bag to fill up, and that's what brings more movement. So in my movement here, if I'm too much gliding, if if I'm not really pushing, but I'm more emitting from my hand, and my hand are feeling what's going on or emitting some chi in different part as I'm moving, the amount that I'm actually moving through is relatively limited. But if I have my hands that are really pushing the chi, like I'm compressing everything, creating a wave and creating a vacuum behind, the same way that if I put my hand in water and I push it, that will pull in a lot more from above, especially if I'm open enough for it to flow, versus if I'm, hunching down and I try to do this, everything is closed, so there's no room for the chi to come in. But as I start to push and let it go, this will create a much stronger movement that will go through the body up and down. We can look at it from the gasol transmitter perspective. We can look at it through an electromagnetic aspect. There's that same global sensation that are connecting together that create a bigger movement. And this is what we're looking for. The same way that when we do this one, we're less in the body, but we have that big movement out, and we let it go so that it drains. So let's see, this way, so that it drains up, down, all the way, so I can let it go. And then once it's done, the return up naturally comes and connect me into heaven as well. We're all about vacuum and pump. That's how the body works. With the amount of fluid we have, we better have good pumps, otherwise it stagnate and get nasty.
Thanks for watching. Leave your question or comments in the comment section below. And don't forget to like and subscribe. If you want to learn more about Tai Chi Qigong Shabasha, visit my website, qigong18.com, for more information on online classes and private classes, just like the one you just watched. Have a good day.